All right, Matthew Morales, that was a great performance today. Being the musician, I just wanted to ask a couple questions on everything. What instruments or sounds were used in the performance?
We employed the initiative machines I developed to capture the industrial sounds of modern life. What I mean by that is using clangs, buzzes, and even whirs. These instruments allowed us to break free from traditional melodies and embrace the cacophony of the contemporary world.
Was it traditional or experimental?
I'm gonna be completely honest here. Entirely experimental. We aim to dismantle conventional musical structures, replacing them with raw, unfiltered sounds of the machinery and urban life, reflecting the futurist manifesto's call for innovation.
What was the audience reaction to the music?
Well, the reactions tend to vary. Some were really intrigued and others appalled. The unfamiliar sounds really challenged their expectations, and it just led to a mix of fascination and discomfort.
All right, and then the last question: how does the music reflect the ideals of futurism?
Well, when you put it that way, it embodies our celebration of speed. Speed, technology, and even the modern era. By incorporating industrial noises, we reject the past and really embrace the dynamic energy of the past and even the future.
All right, thank you, Matthew.
Anytime.
All right, Mr. Rocha, I'm just interviewing you here tonight. As you were just watching the performance, I just had a couple questions on what you thought of it. So, what really brought you to this performance tonight?
Yeah, I came because I was really curious. I hear a little bit about the futurists and how different and wild the approach to art is. People said they do things that totally break the usual rules of theater, and that sounded exciting to me. I wanted to see it for myself and find out what all the buzz was about.
So, how do you feel watching these chaotic scenes unfold?
Honestly, it felt kind of crazy and confusing at first. Like, I didn't know what was going on, but at the same time, it was super exciting. It felt like the performance was designed to throw you off on purpose, and I think that was the point. It made me pay attention in a way I'm not used to, and that made it really thrilling.
Did you enjoy it, or were you shocked at all watching?
I'd say both. Parts of it definitely shocked me because they were so unexpected and weird, like nothing I'd ever seen in a play before. But weirdly, I enjoyed it. It was cool to see something totally different. And even though it made me uncomfortable at times, I think that's what made it so interesting and memorable.
Do you believe this is the future of performance, art, or just madness?
I think it might be a little bit of both. On one hand, it seems totally crazy and over the top, but on the other hand, that's kind of what makes it exciting. These artists are clearly trying to push boundaries and ask big questions, even if it doesn't become the only way to do performance art. I think it will definitely influence the way people think about it in the future.
Did you feel like you were part of the performance at all?
Yeah, for sure. It didn't feel like we were just sitting back and watching. It felt like the performance wanted us to be involved somehow. They interacted with the audience and everything was happening so close and fast. It felt like we were inside the performance instead of just watching from the outside.
My last question is: did the performance change your perception of art or theater?
Yeah, for sure. It totally made me think differently. Before, I always thought of theater as being something more structured with clear stories and rules. But this performance showed me that art can be messy and emotional and even kind of uncomfortable. It doesn't always have to make sense, and it can just make you feel or think, and that's really powerful.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Rocha. Mr. Navia,
Yes, sir.
this is the dancer, correct?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Is there any way I can get a quick interview with you?
Yes, sir. Sure thing.
My first question: what inspired the way you moved in the performance?
It was our movement. Our movement was sharp, robotic, and sometimes even all over the place. Kind of like a machinery in the factory or the crazy pace of life today. We didn't want to follow the usual rules of dance. Instead, we wanted to shake things up and make people feel like something was happening, like the world was changing. Every move was meant to show that life right now is fast, loud, and unpredictable.
Were you inspired by future manifestos?
Most definitely. Those manifestos encourage artists to leave the past behind and focus on the energy and speed of the modern world. We tried to bring the idea to life through our dancing. The futurists love things like machinery, movement, and new technology. So we made our performance feel like a machine in motion. Even our lights, musics were designed to match the intense, fast-paced vibe. It wasn't just about copying the futurists, though it was also about asking questions. Where does all this speed and obsession with progress really take us?
Do you think the audience got what you were trying to do?
Some people might have, and others were pretty confused, but honestly, that's okay. Our goal isn't to explain everything or to make it super easy to understand. We want people to think, to wonder, maybe to even feel uncomfortable. If someone walks out of the show still thinking about it or talking about it, it's a win for us. Art doesn't always have to be clear. It just has to make you.
Thank you for the interview, Mr. Navia.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.